Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So Let's Resin sent me all kinds of goodies here lately, and they sent me some of their new white epoxy resin. So I'm super excited to try this out, and we are going to use this in today's video. They also sent me the 48 pack of alcohol ink. I mean, guys, there are so many colors in here. It's crazy. If you can't find a color you need, then I don't know. But there's a lot of colors in here, and I will be using some today, but not from this set. It's from my other set that I have. We're going to play with this here in a little bit. But then they sent me this, and I can't wait to use this. This is their large mixer, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it will mix your resin in like 45 seconds or something crazy fast like that. So I can't wait to try this, but it's got to charge for a couple of hours first, so we're not going to be using that in today's video. What we are going to be doing today is we are going to make some dominoes using these cool little miniature cards that I got. And then the sequins are kind of like they're card related. They have like the letters and the numbers and all that kind of stuff. But first, what we need to do is we need to seal these cards, because I don't know how they're going to handle in resin. I don't know if they're going to, fade, or if they're going to, whatever. We all know how resin can act with paper. So we're going to seal them with some Mod Podge, and I'm just going to do a thin layer on the front and the back and be done with it and let it dry for, I don't know, maybe like 20-30 minutes. Like I said, I'm doing a very thin coat. I don't anticipate having a lot of issues, but I just want to make sure that I don't get kind of like the water spots and stuff like that in them. Our dominoes are going to be 3 layers. Now, if you've never made dominoes before, they're not super thick, so they are going to be very thin layers. But I want to kind of go all out on this, and we're also not going to stop there. We're going to make a box to house these dominoes. Now, I have had this box mold for like a year now, and I have not used it yet. So this is my first time using it, and we're going to see how it works. Like I said, never used it before, not 100% sure, but we're going to play around with it. Now, it did come with a little wooden bracket so that your box doesn't come, warp out of shape from the weight of the resin going in. So that's super cool. And we're gonna see how it works out. Now, these are all nice and dry. I'm just gonna take them off so that we can throw them in here. And I have mixed up my resin, or it's actually being mixed as we're speaking. But first, what I want to do is I want to kind of throw some of these sequins in the box, in the actual dominoes themselves. And this this was a pain, let me tell you. Like, a pain. They wanted to stick to everything but where I wanted them to go, so they were everywhere. And I was trying to, yeah, it was just, it was not fun, especially trying to clean up after them. But we're going to talk about it later. You can see I kind of gave up after the black. I figured it'd be easier once I get the resin in here, because it was just sticking to the molds. I am using my Let's Resin epoxy resin for this, and I'm just doing a super thin layer on the bottom. Now, I just want it to be enough to kind of cover all of the little dots and the line, and just a very thin top coat, okay? And this is what's going to hold the little sequins and the cards in this clear coat, and then we're going to do something else afterwards. Now, with the box, we're going to do it slightly different than the dominoes themselves, but it'll be fine. So I am going around with my silicone tool, and I'm just kind of spreading that resin out and getting it all over everywhere, going around those 90-degree edges. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not do a great job at that, because I did end up with some craters in the sides of some of my domino pieces. And that's my fault, not the resin's fault, because I just didn't take the time to kind of work it all out. And I think I was going a little too fast when I was moving it. And I probably created more bubbles than was already there, because this Let's Resin, like, it's very minute on the bubbles. So if you have them in there, it's because you're doing something wrong, not the resin. Um, so I did pour some resin in the boxes, and you can see the mess I've got on top there. I'm gonna kind of try and work in as much of that resin as possible. I don't want too much in there. I want a clear layer, but I need to make room for, or leave room for the rest of what I want to put in there too. Now we're just adding the cards, and I kind of want as much as possible. I'd like to have about 2 cards in each one, but I do want to stick some of these cards into the actual boxes too, so that it kind of flows. Now, I realize all the sequins and stuff that I'm adding in there are most likely gonna just drop down to the bottom. And I mean, it is what it is. The only good thing about the way that they're kind of, like the sequins especially, we're kind of sticking to everything, is that they'll kind of, I might get some of them off to the side unless the resin pushes them down. So I might have some stuck on the sides and stuff like that, which I'm 100% fine with. It'd actually be better. But we're just going to see how it goes. And I am just kind of maneuvering these cards, flipping them around, making sure that I'm not going to get any air bubbles in there. And then we're just going to pour the rest of the resin into these boxes and kind of just smush it down. Now, you don't have a whole lot of room, especially if you're doing it with the actual like stabilizing brackets on there. They don't, you can't kind of pull it out very far to see what's in there. Now, had I been smart and just put my resin in first and then put them in there, that would have been the smart thing to do, but sometimes you just don't think of these things until after the fact. But it's fine. It'll be fine. And then I'm just going and scraping as much of the resin as I can into there. I'm going to have a mess to clean with the droplets after it dries, but it is what it is. And now we're going back to the sequins. And at first I was going to do some just black and some just red. As far as like with the cards too, some with just the red cards and some with just the black cards. And then I decided that I didn't really want to do that anymore, so we're just going to kind of mix it up, and this way they're more, I don't want to say more cohesive, but they're just, I didn't want, because I know that people play dominoes and I know kind of ish some of the rules and how people can cheat with there being different patterns and stuff in there. So I didn't want to do only certain ones just red and have that be an issue, or somebody not, maybe not want them or not purchase them in the future because of that. So that's why I kind of decided that I'm just going to go black and red on both of them. This way there's nothing that's going to give away, oh, it's a red one, so it's got to be a low number dot or a high number dot or anything like that. Like, I just didn't want to do it. So I'm kind of trying to keep that in mind a little bit. And we're just going to kind of shove these ones down into the box as well. Put them along the side. If, like I said, if they stick, they stick. It's fine. I don't care about any of that. I kind of would like them all over the place. But if they drop, they drop. And that's fine too. We're just going to do something cool. And I really don't know how this box, like, actually looks. I can't remember. Like I said, it was a year ago that I purchased it. So who knows at this point. Because I certainly don't, and I couldn't be bothered to look it up. But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right, so we're just gonna go in here and kind of just throw them around, trying not to. Everything is sticky. Like, everything is sticky right now. I'm sticking to everything. My gloves are sticking to everything. The tweezers and the tools that I'm using, everything's sticking to it, and I'm getting like big clumps of them that are sticking together, which I'm trying to go one at a time, and it's not working. So some of them have more things in there than I, initially intended. But that's what we're doing right now. We're kind of going in there with a dotting tool that isn't quite as sticky, and we're going to see if we can break some of these up, smooth them out, whatever. All right, so 24 hours later, here we are. Now, my initial thought process was I was just going to do white on the back and just let it be like this. But I didn't like that idea because it wasn't enough. I want these to be really cool. So what I decided to do is I am taking this gorgeous, gorgeous red glitter and this really awesome black glitter. Like, I know a lot of the glitters, at least a lot of the ones that I seem to purchase, are all those, like, they have like the holographic looking or some kind of color shifting something on it. This is like a straight actual black glitter, which is what I want. And I am adding that into just the tiniest bit of resin. This has to be a super thin layer. Like, I just want it to cover, and what we're going to do is we are going to go in there and half it. So we're going to do half black, half red, and kind of just meet in the middle. Obviously, we can't control it as far as to if one seeps further than the other, but it'll be fine. It's not that big of a deal. I just want to make sure that they're each half and half. So we're going to add a little bit of each color and then just kind of work it out into the corners and spread it around. Now, I do want to make sure that, like, I want the glitter packed in there. I don't want to see clear resin. I want to see color. That's it. And the white that we're going to back these with is going to keep those colors from changing. I feel like if I put black or another solid color back there, that it just may change that color, especially in the red, and I don't want that to happen. So we're going white with that. But right now, we are just making sure that we have enough glitter to go in each one of these. I kind of decided that after doing it, like one whole one, that I didn't want to do it like that because it was going to take too long. So we're just going to kind of plop some in here, spread it out, and then come back if I feel like I need to add more of either of the colors and kind of go from there. All right, so as I finish this up, I'm just going to have some music playing in the background, and then I will be back for the next step. Now, we are not adding glitter into the boxes. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go with the white, and we're going to do something else to kind of dress it up a little bit and make it a little bit more different. But we're not doing glitter because it just, I didn't want to do it, and I just feel like all that would happen is it would just stick to the sides and be a mess, and I just didn't want to do it. So I will be back when this part is finished. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Set them up one by one. Tiny cards in the shuffle, playing games just for fun. Piece by piece they all fall. Dominoes never lie. Miniature cards stand tall in our world reaching high. Happy together we sing. Little things make us smile. Dominoes and cards they bring joy that lasts for a while, a while. Softly tapping we build structures made of our dreams. Tiny kingdom fulfilled. Life's not always what it seems. In this world so small, we find our largest thrills. One card falls, we stand tall, chasing all our small thrills. Happy together we sing. Little things make us smile. Dominoes and cards they bring joy that lasts for a while, a while. In this world so small. All right, I'm done. So we are just hitting this with the heat gun, and now it is time to try this white resin out. So I am just going to mix up a couple of ounces. I'm not sure. I think it's about 6 ounces I mix up because it is going to be the back of the dominoes, which obviously we don't need a lot because we've already got 2 layers in there. So it's just going to be enough to cover. And then I want to fill these boxes up with it. Now, when you pour this, I'm sorry, I've never used a colored resin like this before. I know they have a black one out, but look how cool that is. You could see how part A is the one that's colored. You can see how it just kind of sinks in. It's almost like it stays in itself, and you can see the white or the clear around it. It was kind of cool. I don't know. I'm nerdy like that, I guess, but I thought it was neat to look at. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and use this ISTOYO hand mixer that I got, and this is the one with the AI function on it, which is really cool, and I never have an issue with bubbles with it. Like, I really, really love this thing a lot. I do, because if I hand mix something, I'm mixing it way, way, way too fast, and a lot of bubbles happen, and, whatever. But anyway, all right, now it is time to finish these guys up. Well, at least as much as the resin part goes. So I started off with the big cup, as you see, and then I decided that was going to be a bad idea. So we're just going to get a paper cup so I can kind of pinch it and form a spout and make the pouring process a little bit easier, a little bit cleaner. And we're just going to kind of go on the back of these, semi-fill them up just to kind of get the base thing, and then I will top them off later to see whichever one needs more. I have a tendency to over pour the last layer of these, like always, and then I have a huge mess to clean later, and I don't want to do that. So we're gonna take it slow this time. And then I'm just going to go around with my dotting tool just to make sure the resin is all the way around, hit all of those 90-degree corners and edges and all of that fun stuff with the tool to make sure that no bubbles get set in there. Had I taken my time earlier, I wouldn't have had the issue that I had on the front side, but that's neither here nor there. It's done, and unfortunately, it is what it is at this point. But we're just going to kind of go and fill these up. Now, this is all, aside from the dots, this is all I'm going to do to these dominoes. When we get to the box, we are going to kind of do some cool stuff to it to kind of give it some extra something something, so it's not just a white and clear box with, a few floaty pieces in there. I want to get it to have the red and the black color to it as well. So we're going to play with some alcohol inks in there and kind of just have some fun with it and see what happens as soon as I am done fiddling with these. Um, as I'm kind of finishing this up, I thank you guys for the last week, and I know I was kind of MIA. I had some stuff going on. My husband was in California, and I wanted to surprise him with painting the bathroom because he's been wanting to do it. We haven't done it since we moved in. It's been like 8 years. Um, I'll get back to that. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just taking some red and some black Let's Resin alcohol ink. I am dripping it onto my mold, and then I'm going to pour the white resin on there and kind of get some color variation, some swirls, some cool things going on, almost like a marbling, but not. And fill this up with the white resin and then kind of swirl it out on the bottom so it's not just all white, and let it do its thing. I am going in there with the dotting tool to kind of let the resin seep down the edges, and I will go along the outer edge of that box just to make sure I don't have any bubbles trapped up under there. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for both sides. But back to why I was MIA last week. Anyway, so he has been talking about painting the bathroom, well, painting the whole house, but painting for a while now, and I know it's something that he really wanted. So I wanted to surprise him with it, and that's kind of what I was doing. But I've got a lot of back issues and issues with my hands go weak and numb when I am standing too long or doing certain things and whatever, and it ended up like half killing me. And my husband is like kind of like my chiropractor slash masseuse that keeps me being able to move. So I did this for him, and then I pretty much couldn't walk. Like, it just, the little bathroom that I did, like, and it's a small little bathroom, it kind of took me out to where I was in so much pain I couldn't do anything. But it was worth it. It was worth it to, it was a labor of love, let me tell you. But anyway, that's kind of why I wasn't very active last week at all, because I couldn't be. So I do thank you guys for kind of giving me that week to, get back to being able to move again. But back to the video. So I did what I did, and now I'm just adding a little bit because there's a little bit of color more that I want in the bottom that I'm not, it's just not coming up high enough for me. So I'm going to add some more in. Put the white over the color because I kind of like how it looks when it gets marbled like that. Like when the white does it, it doesn't have that kind of weird spready look that it gets when you just put it on top. And then we're going to go in with a dotting tool and we're just going to kind of stripe it out a little bit and just get some kind of design in there, some kind of movement and flow. I realize I'm taking a long time to make it how I like it, but I know it's not going to stay like that. But I just want some kind of movement in there. And then with this bottom one, there's just too much red for me. Like I need a little bit more black, but I don't want to really drip it into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my alcohol ink and over my dotting tool, I'm gonna just drip it on there so that I can just kind of just get a little bit in there. And it ends up spreading a little bit more than I wanted it to, but it's fine. Just to add some more black to it. I think if I would have put a whole drop on there, it would have been too much. So we're going to go with this. Hit it with the heat gun real quick just to pop any bubbles that may be in there, but also to kind of help these colors move around by thinning out the resin just a tad more. And we're going to let it sit. So 24 hours later, and here we are. I took the brackets off already. You guys don't need to see that. It's very simple. You just slide them apart from each other. And now it is time to demold these babies and see what we get. So they come out very, very nice. And I do like the design on the bottom. I think it's pretty cool. All right, so here we go. So just like I thought, it dropped a lot, all of those sequins. I mean, it's fine. Like I said, it really is fine. I was kind of anticipating that happening. I probably could have made them, if I really, really, really wanted to be bothered with it, I could have probably made them stay so that they just don't look like kind of black little turds floating around. But actually, not even floating. They've sunk. But anyway, it's fine. I really like it though. I think it's really cool. Now, the one thing that I'm not sure, this box has like to where you can slide it on. See? However, it lifts right off. So I don't know why. If I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. It doesn't seem like it should. But all in all, it's a nice little box and I do like it a lot. So let's check out these dominoes now. And I really like them. Like, I was worried that you would lose a lot in there, but I do like how they look a lot. I'm so glad that the color didn't change at all in those glitters, which I know sometimes it can. So I'm super, super happy with them. The next thing is, how are we going to dot them? What colors to use? And they do need a little bit of a cleanup, so I will do that off camera. I'm not gonna bore you with me just filing and picking off all of the hard pieces of resin. So I played around with some colors. I did white, didn't necessarily care for it. Can't do black by itself, so I chose black and red, and I'm just going to alternate the sides, doing the red on the black and the black on the red. That makes sense. And then the line in the middle is just going to be black. I'm not going to fool with different colors. It's just the middle. I don't necessarily think it matters that much as far as to if you can truly 100% see it. Like, because sometimes in some of them, the black went over that middle line. But like I said, I don't think it necessarily matters a whole lot as far as that goes. So I'm just going to do all of these. I decided that it's best to do the black first and then do the red after. And what I did is I have the Deco Color, the fine tip paint pen, and it never works right for me and it's broken. So what I just do is I just hold it down and let a bunch of the ink flow and then just get my dotting tool and kind of dot in there. This way I have I feel like better control over the way that the paint goes on than I would just using the actual tip of the marker. And I'm going to do the same thing for the red. Now, the red's not broken. It's brand new. But I figured it would be just easier to just do it that way. This way, like I said, I have more control over it because I can use whatever size dotting tool that I feel I need to do it. And then any kind of mistakes or anytime that I go over a hole or whatever, I just get a Q-tip with some alcohol on it and clean it up real quick before it dries and there's no issues. But that's pretty much it on this. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I do have discount codes and all of that and links in the description for everything I used today. I'm not sure about the cards though, since I bought them a long time ago. I'll have to check. But anyway, everything else will be in there along with your discount codes. I will see you guys on Thursday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Tiny cards in the shuffle, playing games just for fun. Piece by piece they all fall. Dominoes never lie. Miniature cards stand tall in our world reaching high. Happy together we sing. Little things make us smile. Dominoes and cards they bring joy that lasts for a while, a while. Softly tapping